All right, my name is Graham Schmidt. I'm here at the Word Bridge Playwrights Laboratory in South Carolina. And I was going to talk a little bit about my relationship with Russian theater. And we're at a place where we're engaged in the development of new plays. And my experience with Russian theater has been, I originally went to Russia to get closer to the works of Anton Chekhov. And this, this is a traditional playwright, and something that's, I think, unique to Russian theater, especially when it comes to Chekhov, is there's a great weight of tradition, kind of pressing down on contemporary theater practitioners, people who would like to create new works and write new plays. And that's something that, although there's probably analogs in the States, in Russia I think it's unique and the pressure is high. Partly because there's just an extremely rich production history first, as there is in a lot of countries with Chekhov. But in Russia they talk specifically about Russian culture and Russian history that is still kind of felt in the present day. And Chekhov talks about Russia in ways that he doesn't talk about the history of the U.S. or the history of England, other places. So, but in order to stage these plays and make them new, it's a great challenge. That's kind of.
And have you ever staged Chekhov before?
I've staged to date 3 Chekhov plays, and as I say, like, there's not the same. In the States, at least, everybody is familiar with these plays, and everybody has a relationship with these plays. But it's just, the saturation level is different. So I have a different freedom in the States to kind of, I guess the bar is not quite as high for making something new or expressing a knowledge of what has come before.
What are the 3 plays you've staged?
I've staged The Seagull, Uncle Vanya, and The Cherry Orchard.
And where did you do those, Graham?
Those I did, I'm a director. I work in Austin, Texas, and we just formed our own theater company called Breaking String Theater. Breaking String referring to the sound effect from the second act of The Cherry Orchard. And we just kind of made a longer-term commitment to Austin and incorporated our theater company. And we're going to be working both with traditional plays and hot off the presses Russian plays. People who are kind of envisioning the theater of the future and working the same kind of spirit of innovation and that I think Chekhov worked with 100 years ago.
Do you have any idea who you might be working with among the contemporary writers?
Right now I'm working on Unpacking Flying by Olga Mukhina, and that is something that I formed a relationship with over the last few months.
And when might that be?
Well, I had a really powerful experience at Towson. They had a wonderful conference centered around new Russian drama, and I had the opportunity to meet Yuri Klavdiev, Vyacheslav Dudnikov, and I saw a wonderful production of Tanya Tanya, directed by Yuri Voronov. And I was just struck, first of all, because these are plays that arose out of a very specific milieu, and they were brought over to the States, and had the enthusiasm from American practitioners. There were about 100 people there who have tons of experience. Well, they were just bowled over, and I think very touched, and they were able to make connections in spite of the fact that these are very different kind of environments in which we're working. There were some wonderful kind of points of contact. Specifically, I'm recalling Martial Arts by Yuri Klavdiev particularly resonated with a playwright who has worked in the inner cities in, I believe it's in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee, and he expressed. Klavdiev was able to tell these stories in such a way, stories of people who are children who grow up not of their own free will, it's not their choice and it's not their fault, but they grow up in horrifying circumstances. And he's able to tell this story in a way that does not make make us feel, undifferentiated, simply empathy or sympathy for these children, but it's a story of hope. It's not just a blank story of despair, which it would be fair to say that could describe the situation of these children.